Mrs. W here. I'm going to go ahead and go over in this video the response to the Subunit 1.1 lecture and study questions for the Saylor.org course, English 101 Introduction to Literary Studies. So the questions are about a Yale lecture that was assigned. And the two questions are, why do we study literature, and what is hermeneutics? I hope I said that right. So I'll start with the easy one first. What is hermeneutics? So hermeneutics, anyway, you can see how it's spelled. I looked it up using Microsoft Word's dictionary, right there. And, oh, maybe not quite that much. And it says, hermeneutics is the science of interpreting texts and methodology, especially books of the Bible, or the theology of religious concepts. And that's the dictionary definition. From the Yale lecture, kind of what I think it is, just what I think, is that it's more like a school of thought or a school of communication. In the lecture, he mentioned that, or the instructor mentioned that Hermes was thought to be the god of communication because he gave language to humankind in Greek mythology. And so that's where I'm going to go ahead and do. Okay, so the next one, why do we study literature? So this one is a little bit more involved, and so I'm going to go ahead and pause this and clear the screen, and we'll start. So welcome back. I'm just kind of going over why we study literature, at least according to the lecture. So interesting thoughts are that, for me, the instructor answered this question during the idea about what an introduction was. And he said, interestingly, that by having an introduction that's kind of an overview of different fundamental ideas that all existed in one space, and how it kind of got him into trouble in the 70s when he was teaching, because everyone wanted their fundamental idea to be the main thing, their main ideology. And what he said was really interesting, and I'll pull up the quote here. He said that we have views and understanding that everything that we produce and write and everything is grounded in our particular theory. And because of that, knowing what we believe and what our theory is helps us to make conscious decisions about it. Otherwise, we just kind of naively keep reproducing this theory without ever even questioning anything. And this is interesting because it reminded me a lot of in Walden, when Thoreau said an unexamined life is not worth living, something close to that. Don't freak out on me if I'm wrong. This is, after all, English 101. But that was a lot of what I thought when I read Why We Study Literature. And I think a lot of it is to understand the workings behind what we read, and because I think a lot of what we read becomes what we believe. So those are my two answers to the two questions for Subunit 1.1 assignment.